Hello everyone once again. And earlier I was thinking that when I was going to start this book, basically it was felt that I am learning these words in a new perspective. Like earlier also I have learned some of these words. Like I know and I'm familiar of these words, but this book has changed the perspective how you learn new words and also memorize that for the later reference as well. So if I tell you that here it is teaching you some words like root words, and there are a lot of words that you already know from that word. But this book, what it teaches you is it also tells you if you add this suffix or prefix, then this word's meaning changed and how the meaning gets changed. So in that way, not that you're just learning few words, but a lot of words, and that makes you more in a learning way, learning perspective. So you try to learn whenever you see new words, you try to find out, okay, so this might be the meaning of that word. So that's how your learning grows, and that's how my learning is going on. So in this chapter as well, I have just learned few of the root words, and from that few root words itself, I can now pronounce a lot of words that can be used. And here the words are tome, that means cut. Phil means love. We already have discussed about this. Phil means love. Philanthropist, philanthropist. Then socius, it means society, and there are few prefixes that we are going to learn in this chapter that will help us to learn a lot of new words and also prepare ourselves for further in our learning, that whenever we are going to learn new words, we try to think in that way or in that direction so that we understand those words, and that words or new words does not feels new to us. So so if you have heard of this word that is called etymology and etymological. So here etymology, it means tome, that means cut. En, it means in cut. Logy means study. So where something when where we try to study the things that is related to insects, and that is etymology. And now you will say how this word is related, etymology is related to insects, while we have not learned about, while it does not quite related to insects. So let me tell you one thing. The word is quite related to insects, because if you take any insect and then try to see it from the lower portion of that insect, you'll see that there are some marks, cut marks out there. So from there, this etymology is generated or evolved, and etymology, that means study of the insects and the body part of insects. So that's how etymology arrived. And there is one more word, that is ectomy. Ectomy, EC, that means remove. Ectomy means remove, removal of something. So if I'll say that there is a word that's called appendectomy, then you'll say that, okay, dectomy, that means removal of something. Appendix, appendo, that means appendix. So removal of the appendix is appendectomy. Then if I'll say tonsillectomy, tonsillectomy, tonsillectomy. Ectomy means removal. Tonsil, removal of the tonsil is tonsillectomy. So, and also there is eccentric. So, if you have learned about this word in the class 12th, I have a chapter in geometry that was the conic section, and there was a term that's called eccentric. So, this word is from there, eccentric, and EC, that means out. Eccentric means circle. So something that is out of the circle, that is eccentric. And if something that is out of your circle, then that is strange or that will be something different. So eccentric means something that is very strange or different from the league. So that's called eccentric. And if I'd say, or if I have to form some examples out of it, so that would be, so yesterday I was going out with my friend, and there I saw some people fighting. And there I got to know his eccentric behavior that I do not know earlier. He got furious and started beating them. And I was just calming him down, but he was not ready to stop. So I have to just drag him over, and then he stopped. So this was one example. Now I'll tell you one word that you will be amazed that you can think of this word in that way also. So Tom, that means cut, as we have read it earlier. So you have read about this word, or we have, or definitely we have listened about this word. That's called atom. Atom. So now relate. Tum, cut. A. Something, if there is a prefix that's called a, then that means something that is in negative sense. Atom. A means not, tum means cut. Something that cannot be cut into pieces, that's called atom. So now atom has some parts that we know, but in earlier days, we only know about the atom. And atom is the smallest unit of the thing. So that's how this word atom comes. Then there is anatomy. An means up, tomy means cut. So human body structure is anatomy. Then there is dichotomy, dichotomy. So you can say tomy means cut and dicho it means by two. Dichotomy, cut into two halves. That's called dichotomy, and you can say division into two. So if there is something that is good, then bad also happens. So this is a dichotomous behavior. And epitome, epitome. So ep means upon, something that is here, upon, tome means cut, upon cut. And if you have to make something that is upon cut, it is not something related to that, and I'm also trying to find out what does that means. But epitome, that means summary of something, or it is a perfect example of something. So I will say that everyone has listened or know about Mother Teresa. So she was a epitome of kindness. So Mother Teresa was epitome of kindness. And we have something that is phil, that means love. So philology, the study of love is philology. Philological, philological. Then philanthropy. Anthrop means mankind, phil, love. Someone who loves mankind is philanthropic, philanthropist. Then there is philander. Philander, this is an interesting word that's called philander. Phil means love, and means person, a lot of person. So someone who flirts or cheat in a relationship, that is called philander. And person who cheats in a relationship, it's philander. So you can use that word as well. Then there is filter. Filter. It's not filter. It's ph. Filter. And how you pronounce? So filter is basically a love potion. Fill means love. Ter means potion. So filter is a love potion. Then there is some words you can say semantics. So semantics means something that has some meanings. Study of meanings is semantics. Semantics. So sociology, social and logy means study. So someone who studies about the society is sociology. Social friendly, asocial, not social, and then there is antisocial. Now there is a bit difference between asocial, someone who is asocial, and someone who is antisocial. So asocial does not have something harmful in nature. Asocial is not someone who is very harmful in nature. Asocial is just like is not a kind of person who tries to be in a society and who loves to be in a society or in a community, and he likes to live alone. But someone who is very asocial, he does not like to live in the society, and at the same time tries to harm the society as well. So that kind of person is harmful for the society, and they have criminal behavior, and they are criminal behavior, so they are antisocial. So these are the words and the meanings that I have learned in this session, that is session 13 of this book, Word Power Me Daisy. And day by day, I am evolving and learning new words and try to pronounce those words as well. So this is how uh, the learning is going on. It is out. So that's how the learning is going on. And in the same way, I would say that I'll meet you in the next session. So until then, bye bye.